First contact in the medical bay. The emergency alert pierced through Dr. Rhiannon Novik's quarters aboard Space Station Helios. Her neural implant flashed red, projecting the incoming distress signal directly onto her retina. An unidentified vessel was approaching, badly damaged and carrying a single life sign. "Status report," she commanded, rushing through the sterile corridors of the medical bay. "Vessel of unknown origin." The station's eye responded. "Hull breach detected. Life signs unstable but present. Impact in 3 minutes." Rhiannon reached the emergency dock just as the ship crashed through the magnetic barrier. Metal screamed against metal as emergency systems engaged, bringing the wreck to a grinding halt. Through the smoke, she caught her first glimpse of the pilot. The being was humanoid, but with translucent skin that seemed to pulse with bioluminescence. Most striking were the crystalline structures protruding from its joints, now cracked and leaking an opalescent fluid. "Life signs critical," her scanner warned. "Unknown physiological makeup. Standard procedures may be ineffective." Rhiannon worked quickly, using stasis fields to stabilize the most severe injuries. The alien's blood was unlike anything she'd seen. It seemed to react to her touch, reaching out like curious tendrils. "I need to help you," she spoke clearly, hoping the universal translator would convey her intent. "Can you understand me?" The alien's eyes opened, 3 of them arranged in a triangle pattern and fixed on her face. Understanding. Achieved. It managed through obvious pain. "I am Xerx. Help. Accepted." As Rhiannon began treatment, she noticed something extraordinary. Wherever the alien's leaked fluids touched damaged tissue, rapid healing occurred. She quickly took samples, her scientific curiosity piqued. "Your biological secretions appear to have remarkable regenerative properties," she explained while working. "With your permission, I'd like to study them. They could revolutionize medicine as we know it." Xyrex's crystalline structures pulsed weakly. "Study permitted. But warning, effects on human physiology unknown." Over the next several hours, Rhiannon worked tirelessly to stabilize her unusual patient. The more she observed, the more fascinated she became. Xyrex's body seemed to be one massive organ dedicated to producing healing compounds. "Your species," she asked during a quiet moment. "Are there others like you?" Xyrex's expression shifted into something unreadable. "Few remain. I am seeker, searching for solution." "Solution to what?" "Extinction." The word hung heavy in the air. "My kind. Fading. Need. New genetic material. Compatible species." Rhiannon's hand stilled over her scanner. "Is that why you're here? Looking for compatible species?" "Crash. Unplanned. But perhaps fortunate accident." Xerx's 3 eyes focused intently on her. "Your cellular structure. Interesting. Different from others we found." The implications made Rhiannon's head spin. This wasn't just about revolutionary medicine anymore. This was first contact with a dying species, one that might see humanity as their salvation. "I want to help," she said carefully, "but we need to establish proper protocols. The ethical implications alone." "Time. Limited," Xerx interrupted. "My healing essence could save both our species, but requires trust." Rhiannon looked down at her scanner, where Xerx's extraordinary biological markers danced across the screen. She had dedicated her life to healing, to pushing the boundaries of medical science. But this was beyond anything she had imagined. "We'll start with proper documentation," she decided. "Everything by the book. If your healing properties are as remarkable as they appear, we'll need irrefutable evidence." Xyrex's crystalline structures pulsed with what might have been approval. "Acceptable. But remember, some truths beyond documentation." As Rhiannon began setting up long-term monitoring equipment, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was standing on the brink of something monumental. In trying to save one alien's life, she might have stumbled upon the key to saving an entire species, and possibly revolutionizing human medicine in the process. But as she caught Zyrex watching her with those 3 penetrating eyes, she wondered exactly what she was getting herself into. In the weeks following Zyrex's arrival, the medical bay of Station Helios became an unlikely laboratory for interspecies medicine. Dr. Rhiannon Novick found herself working double shifts, dividing her time between regular patients and her groundbreaking research with her alien subject. "Cellular integration is remarkable," she muttered, studying the latest test results. The sample of human tissue exposed to Zyrex's healing essence showed unprecedented regeneration rates. More intriguingly, the cells seemed to be developing new properties, taking on some characteristics of Zyrex's crystalline biology. Results: promising. Zyrex asked from the specialized containment bed she'd set up. The alien's wounds had mostly healed, but the crystalline structures still showed signs of stress. "Beyond promising," Rhiannon replied, bringing up a holographic display. "Your healing essence doesn't just repair damage. It seems to enhance cellular resilience. The implications for treating chronic diseases alone." She trailed off, noticing Zyrex's dimming bioluminescence. "But you're getting weaker." "Production of essence, taxing," Zyrex confirmed. "In my species, sharing occurs differently, more direct. This method, inefficient." Rhiannon frowned. "Different how? If there's a better way to harvest the essence, we should explore it." Zyrex's 3 eyes performed an intricate dance she'd come to recognize as discomfort. "Traditional method, intimate, requires physical connection, bonding. Like nursing?" Rhiannon asked, scientific curiosity overriding potential awkwardness. "A direct transfer of biological material. Similar, but deeper, creates lasting changes in recipient. Permanent connection." The implications made Rhiannon's pulse quicken. "Is that why you're studying my cellular structure so closely? You're looking for compatibility for direct transfer. Your species, uniquely suitable, but process irreversible. Most humans would fear such change." Rhiannon found herself moving closer to the containment field. "Tell me more about these changes. What exactly happens during direct transfer?" "Recipient's biology adapts, takes on aspects of my kind, healing abilities, enhanced longevity, crystalline integration." Zyrex's luminescence pulsed stronger, but also emotional bonding, sharing of memories, experiences, complete synthesis. "A true symbiosis," Rhiannon breathed. "Not just biological, but psychological too." "Yes, why most species reject possibility. Fear loss of self." Rhiannon thought about her years of research, pushing the boundaries of medical science. She'd always believed that true breakthroughs required courage, the willingness to step into the unknown. "What if," she said carefully, "I volunteered as a test subject for direct transfer?" Zyrex's crystalline structures flared with sudden light. "Risk significant. No returning from such choice." "I understand. But think of the potential benefits. Controlled observation of the process, documented evidence of the changes, proof that humans can safely undergo the transformation." She met Zyrex's triple gaze steadily. "And it could help save your species. Motivation, admirable. But truth requires telling. Direct transfer creates permanent bond, like what humans call marriage, but deeper, irreversible." Rhiannon felt her face flush. "Oh, that's quite a commitment for a medical trial." "Why most refuse? Connection, too intimate, too complete." But as Rhiannon studied her alien patient, she found the idea didn't repel her as it perhaps should. There was something fascinating about Zyrex, something that called to both the scientist and the human in her. "How long?" she asked. "How long would the initial transfer take?" 3 Earth days. First stage, most intense, then gradual adaptation over lunar cycle. Rhiannon began entering parameters into her medical database. "We'll need to set up comprehensive monitoring. Document every change, every stage of the process. If this works, it could open up entirely new avenues for medical treatment. Decision. Certain. Zyrex asked, crystalline structures pulsing with what might have been hope. I'm a doctor, Rhiannon replied, already preparing the necessary equipment. My job is to heal, to push the boundaries of what's possible. If your essence can do what you say, if we can prove humans and your kind can successfully bond. She took a deep breath. Then yes, I'm certain. As she began dismantling the containment field, Rhiannon knew she was crossing a line. This went beyond standard medical research, beyond even first contact protocols. But something told her this was right, that this strange connection with Zyrex was meant to be. One question, she said, pausing in her preparations. After the bond is complete, after we're connected, what then? Zyrex's luminescence took on a warm, gentle glow. Then, we begin. Together. New path for both our kinds. The third day of the bonding process brought changes Rhiannon couldn't have anticipated. The medical bay's lights had been dimmed to accommodate her newly sensitive eyes, and crystalline formations had begun emerging along her spine. More significantly, her mind was opening to Zyrex's thoughts and memories in ways that defied scientific explanation. The memory transfer is intensifying. She recorded into her medical log, voice trembling slightly. I'm seeing worlds I've never visited, cities made of living crystal, a civilization of extraordinary beauty and complexity. She paused, overwhelmed by a fresh wave of images, and I'm seeing their decline. The genetic degradation, whole generations lost to cellular breakdown. Our greatest shame, Zyrex spoke softly, their crystalline structures resonating with Rhiannon's emerging ones. Centuries of genetic manipulation, pursuit of perfection that led to vulnerability. Through their strengthening bond, Rhiannon felt the weight of this history. Your people tried to engineer themselves into higher beings, she said, understanding flowing through their connection. But the changes made your genetic code unstable. Yes, each generation, fewer children survive. Those who do, weaker, unable to produce healing essence. Zyrex's three eyes fixed on her with intensity. Until we found evidence of compatible species, humans. Rhiannon's new crystalline structures pulsed with sudden insight. That's why you were really here. The crash wasn't an accident. Your people have been searching for Earth. Forgive deception. Zyrex's thoughts carried genuine remorse. Truth too dangerous to share initially. Human fears of alien invasion would have prevented any chance of willing cooperation. Rhiannon finished, understanding despite her shock. She looked down at her changing body, watching the opalescent fluid now flowing through her visible veins. So I'm not just a test subject. I'm proof of concept. You are hope, Zyrex corrected, reaching out to touch her emerging crystals. The contact sent sparks of sensation through their shared consciousness. First successful human crystal synthesis. Proof that salvation possible. Through their bond, Rhiannon accessed deeper memories. Countless failed attempts at synthesis with other species, the desperation of Zyrex's people as their numbers dwindled, the careful study of human genetics that led them to believe Earth might hold the key to their survival. But it's more than just survival now, isn't it? She asked, feeling the complex emotions flowing between them. This bond, it's changing both of us. Unexpected depth of connection, Zyrex agreed. Your human capacity for emotion, combining with our crystalline resonance, creating something new, something unprecedented. Rhiannon moved to the observation window, studying her reflection. Her skin had taken on a subtle translucence, and the crystalline formations along her spine caught the light like prisms. But it was her eyes that held her attention. Still human in shape, but now containing the same luminescent quality as Zyrex. The station's medical board will want answers, she said, thinking of the inevitable questioning. And once word gets out about successful human crystal synthesis, others will come, Zyrex finished. Both species, some seeking salvation, others fearing change. Through their connection, Rhiannon felt the deeper implications. This wasn't just about saving one species anymore. They were standing at the threshold of potential human evolution, opening doors that couldn't be closed. We need to document everything, she decided, moving to her research station. Every change, every enhancement, every risk. If more humans are going to undergo this process, they deserve to know exactly what they're choosing. And if your people reject possibility, Xyrex's concern rippled through their bond. If fear overcomes potential, then we'll find another way, Rhiannon said firmly, feeling strength flow between them. This bond proves it's possible, even if we have to start small, work in secret. Her words were interrupted by a sudden alert. Someone was requesting emergency access to the medical bay. Through the door's window, she could see Dr. Harrison, the station's chief medical officer, along with 2 security officers. They know, Rhiannon whispered, feeling Xyrex's alarm mirror her own. Someone must have noticed the changes in my biosignature. What will you do? Xyrex asked, their shared consciousness tumbling with possibilities. Rhiannon straightened, feeling the power of their combined strength flow through her transformed body. The only thing we can do, she said, moving toward the door. Tell the truth. Show them what's possible when 2 species trust enough to truly connect. As she reached for the door controls, she felt Xyrex's presence in her mind, supporting, strengthening. Whatever came next, they would face it together, living proof that the future belonged to those brave enough to embrace change. The door slid open, and Rhiannon prepared to defend not just their bond, but the potential salvation of 2 species. The real challenge was just beginning. The meeting with Station Helios' medical board lasted hours. Dr. Rhiannon Novak stood before them, her transformed body a testament to what she and Xyrex had achieved. The crystalline formations along her spine cast prismatic patterns across the conference room walls as she presented their findings. The synthesis isn't just successful, she explained, projecting her latest medical scans. It's revolutionary. Enhanced cellular regeneration, improved immune response, potential near immortality. And that's just the beginning. Chief Medical Officer Harrison leaned forward, his expression torn between fascination and concern. And the psychological effects. Your report mentions a permanent mental bond. The connection goes beyond simple telepathy, Rhiannon confirmed, feeling Xyrex's reassuring presence in her mind. It's a complete sharing of consciousness, knowledge, memories, emotions, all transferred and integrated. Which makes you compromised. Security Director Walsh cut in. How can we be certain your decisions are still your own? Rhiannon's new biology reacted to her spike of irritation, her crystals pulsing with light. I'm not compromised. I'm evolved. Enhanced. Everything I was before, plus everything Xyrex's species can offer. And I'm not alone in seeing the potential. She brought up another display, showing the messages that had been flooding in since news of their success leaked. Hundreds of volunteers already, both human and crystal beings. People willing to undergo the synthesis, to be part of something greater than themselves. It's too dangerous, Harrison argued. The changes are irreversible. If something goes wrong. Something already went wrong, Rhiannon interrupted. An entire species is dying. We have the power to save them, to advance human evolution in the process, and you're worried about protocol. Through their bond, Xyrex shared memories of their own people's debates centuries ago, when the first signs of genetic degradation appeared. The same fears, the same resistance to change that had ultimately led to their current crisis. We've established a controlled testing facility, Rhiannon continued, her voice softening. Each volunteer will be fully informed, extensively screened, and monitored throughout the process. We're not asking for unrestricted synthesis, just the chance to prove it can work on a larger scale. Director Walsh frowned. And if we refuse? If we decide the risks outweigh the potential benefits? Rhiannon felt Xyrex's concerns spike through their connection. But there was something else too, a plan forming in their shared consciousness. "Then we'll leave," she said simply. "There are other stations, other facilities, places where the pursuit of knowledge isn't limited by fear." She gestured to her transformed body. "I'm living proof that the synthesis works. Try to stop us, and you'll just be driving innovation underground." The board members exchanged glances. Through her enhanced senses, Rhiannon could detect subtle changes in their body language, the microscopic tells that revealed their internal struggles. "A compromise," Harrison finally offered. "A small-scale trial. 20 volunteers, extensively monitored. If the results are positive after 6 months, we can discuss expansion." Rhiannon shared a mental touch with Zarex, feeling their cautious optimism. 30 volunteers, she countered. "And we choose them based on genetic compatibility, not station politics." More silent communication passed between the board members before Walsh nodded reluctantly. "Agreed, but at the first sign of trouble." "There won't be," Rhiannon assured them, her crystals glowing with conviction. "What we're creating here is the future, for both our species." As the meeting adjourned, Rhiannon felt the weight of responsibility settling over her. Through their bond, Zarex shared strength and determination. First step taken, they communicated silently. "Others will follow." "They'll have to," Rhiannon replied mentally. "We're running out of time." In her lab later that night, she reviewed the volunteer applications. Each face represented a potential bridge between species, a chance to create something entirely new. "We're changing everything," she whispered, feeling Zarex's presence wrap around her consciousness like a warm embrace. "Change necessary," Zarex responded. "For survival. For evolution. For love." Rhiannon touched her crystals, watching them pulse in harmony with Zarex's. Whatever came next, they would face it together, two beings merged into something greater than the sum of their parts. The future was crystallizing before them, one synthesis at a time. The transformation of Station Helios happened faster than anyone predicted. 6 months into the trial, the success of the human crystal synthesis program was undeniable. The medical bay had been expanded into an entire wing dedicated to what was now called the Unity Project, with Rhiannon and Zarex at its helm. Cellular stability at 100% across all subjects, Rhiannon reported, reviewing the latest data from their 30 volunteers. Each one had successfully completed the synthesis, their bodies now bearing the distinctive crystalline formations and enhanced capabilities. No signs of rejection or degradation. Through their deepened bond, Zarex shared their people's growing hope. More crystal beings had arrived at the station, bringing with them centuries of knowledge and technology. Our numbers growing. First time in generations. The synthesized humans had formed a unique community within the station. Their shared experiences and abilities created bonds that transcended traditional human relationships. Each pair of bonded beings became a bridge between worlds, their merged consciousness expanding the possibilities of what both species could achieve. "The medical applications alone are revolutionary," Dr. Harrison admitted during a review session. He had become one of their strongest supporters after witnessing the synthesized humans heal injuries that would have been fatal to normal people. The ability to regenerate damaged tissue, cure genetic diseases, potentially extend human lifespan indefinitely. But it wasn't just medical science that was advancing. The crystal being's vast knowledge of quantum mechanics and stellar engineering, now merged with human innovation and adaptability, was opening new frontiers in space exploration. "We're receiving requests from other stations, research facilities, even planetary colonies," Rhiannon said, bringing up a galactic map dotted with potential synthesis centers. "The movement is spreading." "As it should," Zarex replied aloud, their voice carrying the harmonic resonance typical of their species. "But challenges remain." They were right. Not everyone welcomed the emergence of a new hybrid species. Some feared the loss of human identity. Others worried about the social implications of near-immortal beings living alongside normal humans. Religious groups debated the spiritual consequences of such fundamental transformation. We need to address their fears, Rhiannon decided, her crystals pulsing with determination. Show them that synthesis doesn't erase what we are. It enhances it, makes us more, not less. They organized public demonstrations, allowing people to witness the beauty and potential of the synthesized beings. The sight of humans and crystal beings working in perfect harmony, their shared consciousness creating innovations beyond what either species could achieve alone, began to shift public opinion. "Remember when you first told me about your people's search for compatible species?" Rhiannon asked Zyrex one evening, as they watched Earth rise over the station's horizon. "Did you ever imagine it would lead to this?" Through their bond, Zyrex shared images of their dying homeworld, of generations lost to genetic failure, hoped for survival, found transcendence instead. The synthesized humans had begun having children, the first natural-born hybrids. These children possessed abilities that surpassed even their parents, their crystalline structures more intricate, their consciousness naturally attuned to both human and crystal ways of thinking. "They're the future," Rhiannon observed, watching a group of hybrid children in the station's educational center. Their crystals glowed with different colors as they communicated telepathically, sharing knowledge and experiences in ways pure humans never could. Not just survival, but evolution. The station had become a beacon of hope, drawing beings from across the galaxy who sought to witness the miracle of successful synthesis. Each new arrival brought their own knowledge and perspective, enriching the growing hybrid community. "We should establish an academy," Rhiannon suggested, the idea flowing between their merged minds. "A place to teach both species about synthesis, to prepare them for transformation, to study the endless possibilities of our combined potential." "Legacy," Zyrex agreed, "for both our kinds, beginning of new chapter in universal history." As they stood together, their crystalline structures resonating in perfect harmony, Rhiannon reflected on how far they'd come from that first desperate encounter in the medical bay. What had begun as an attempt to save a dying species had evolved into something far greater, the birth of a new form of consciousness, a bridge between worlds that would reshape the future of both their peoples. "We did it," she whispered, feeling Zyrex's love and pride flow through their bond. "We found a way to save everyone." "No," Zyrex corrected gently. "We found a way to become more than we were. Future unlimited now." Around them, Station Helios hummed with the energy of countless synthesized beings, their merged consciousness creating a symphony of thought and purpose. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if reflecting the light of possibility that now stretched before them. The age of synthesis had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of consciousness itself. Humanity and crystal beings, once separate and struggling, had found in each other not just salvation, but transcendence. And it all started with a crashed ship and the courage to trust in something greater than themselves.